Once a year, 15,000 Blizzard fans converge in Anaheim, California to celebrate Blizzard's most prized franchises, Warcraft, StarCraft, and Diablo, with the communities that support those games. Tickets were scarce, and millions of fans tried to ninja loot a pass into North America's most spectacular video game convention, BlizzCon 2008. 16 of the top Blizzard pro gamers have ascended on BlizzCon to compete on the RTS stage in StarCraft Brood War and Warcraft 3, The Frozen Throne. Fans travel from all corners of the earth to see these amazing competitors in top form for the 2008 StarCraft Invitational. The 2008 Warcraft 3 Global Finals will hit the top finishers from the regional Warcraft 3 Finals, which took place in North America, Europe, and Korea. The Global Finals will see the return of many recognized pro gamers, but also features a roster of up-and-coming champions who may have what it takes to surprise the masses. We're under attack! The portal is opening for all things RTS. This is the 2008 StarCraft Invitational and the Warcraft 3 Global Finals. It's BlizzCon 2008. We are live once again, and we've got StarCraft Brood War up on the stage. I'm DJ Wheat, the host of the ceremonies here at the RTS stage, but joining me are two fantastic RTS casters. In fact, I can't wait to just shut up and let these guys talk. First and foremost, from GomTV.net, we've got Tasteless. What's up, buddy? Welcome back to the stage.
I'm excited. I think these games are going to be great. I can't wait to get them started. I think this is going to be even better than the last series we saw.
All right, and from SC4All.com, we've got Artosis. What's going on, man?
Oh, man, this is going to be a great match. Savior, he's coming right back. I mean, winner bracket final, couldn't be happier.
All right, well, we do have a fantastic matchup about ready to start here. We're going to see Savior versus Jangbi, two Koreans up on stage, and the only two players left in the upper bracket. We'll find out how that's going to play out. We've obviously got some business to take care of first. Let's talk a little bit about the tournament format. We've spoken about it many times before today, but again, very simple. Double elimination, best of three, and then, of course, elimination map selection, which means both players are throwing out two maps and then selecting from the remaining in the pool. We've also got prizes up for grab, and I'm going to shoot it to Tasteless to tell us a little bit about those prizes.
Yeah, we've got some big purses here that these players can win. $5K for third place. For second place, we'll give away $10K, and finally, for first, we're going to give away $25K. It's quite a lot of money.
Now, before we introduce the players, I know you guys are eager to do that. I want to look at the upper brackets as well as the lower brackets. I kind of talk about it. I know that you guys have been back there watching all the matches as they are unfolding. So here they are. Tell us a little bit about these. I'm going to start with you, Artosis. What's surprising to you? What's not surprising to you, etc.?
Well, the most surprising thing was Hydra beat Yellow. That is the first time in the history of Blizzard events that a foreigner has beaten a Korean. So that was a really big surprise right there.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, the Hydra versus Yellow upset, that is just huge. The other games were pretty standard, although Savior actually did manage to beat 4GG. That was kind of a shocker as well.
Yeah, the current OSL champion, and he beat Jadong like 3-0 or something.
Yeah.
He's unreal, and for him to lose rather to Savior, who's supposed to be in a slump, that's wow.
What did you guys think? Did you guys get a chance to check out the Hydra versus Jangbi game?
Actually, the Hydra versus Jangbi games, when I was watching them, looked a lot like the Jangbi versus Nada games to me. It was just really great storm drops coming from Jangbi, and, it just looked like Hydra was having a hard time getting out of his base. So, same fate for both Hydra and Nada when they faced off with Jangbi, but, the matchup we're casting next is totally different. It's going to be a PvZ, so we're going to see if Jangbi is really capable of taking on his opponent, in this kind of matchup.
And let's take a look at the lower brackets as well. We've got some players in, some out, and here's how it breaks down. So Cloud looks like he is officially out of the tournament now, right? Zelos took him out, and now Zelos is taking on Hydra. And then Yellow also out of the tournament, eliminated after 2 matches. Nada's still alive after winning against Yellow, and now he goes up against 4GG. Any predictions on those 2 matches and who may actually be going home?
You know, I'm not too sure. 4GG, I suppose, should beat Nada because 4GG is doing really well right now. But then when you take a look at Idra versus Zelos over here, Idra's already beaten one top Korean, you know, Yellow. So, you know, it's quite possible that Idra could take down Zelos as well.
Your thoughts, Artos?
You know, Zelos, he's in a little bit of a slump right now. He hasn't done too much in the last couple seasons, and Idra, he has some good strategies planned out, so I think he can make another upset.
All right, well, we went through the brackets. Let's introduce our players for this matchup. Two Koreans up here on stage. It's not an unfamiliar sight, actually, at StarCraft competitions. Let's meet our first Korean player. It's Savior. He plays as Zerg. And go ahead, take it away, Tasteless.
Yeah, Savior is the former #1 ranked player in the world. He really reinvented Zerg, and you know, he was #1 a while ago. Now he's kind of entered a slump, and he's not doing as well. The metagame of StarCraft has kind of shifted. We have new maps now, so he's been struggling a little bit, but he's doing surprisingly well in this tournament. I'm really curious to see how he's going to do against Jangbi.
All right, well, we'll meet his opponent here in just a second. Savior is going to be the first combatant, and the second one we've already seen up here on stage before he took down Nada. The match score was 2-1 in that one, and that is Jangbi, also from Korea. He'll be playing as Protoss today. Artosis, give us some insight.
You know, Jangbi is like a backbone of Samsung Con. He's been doing very well. No titles yet for him, but he has got one of the highest win percentages ever against Terran. Just an amazing, amazing player, and I think he's the favorite to take home this tournament.
All right, well, those are our two players here. Again, Jangbi, he's been up here. He's going to be used to that. Savior, though, obviously no stranger to the lights and the magic of the big stage and the crowds, etc., etc. So let's take a look at the maps. We do know all three maps have been selected at this point. First map that we're going to be looking at is Troy. Second map will be Athena, and should we need to go to a third, that will be Colosseum. Here is Troy. Tell us a little bit about it, Tasteless.
Troy is a really weird map, to put it quite frankly. Okay, so you start out in your main, and you're not really on an island, but you're not really on a land map either. There are these two neutral assimilators on the map, and if you destroy the neutral assimilators, you actually end up becoming walled in inside of your base. So a lot of times we see rushes where somebody rushes his opponent's neutral assimilators and tries to basically force him to be trapped inside of his base. So we may see something like that.
Artosis, what's your thoughts on this map?
This is a map a lot of foreigners feel is very Protoss favored, and I think we're going to see Jangbi be very aggressive. I don't think we're going to see the normal fast expand from other maps.
So if you had to take a wild stab at it, you'd guess that this is Jangbi's map choice?
I think so, yeah.
All right, great. Well, we've got both our players introduced. We know the map. Before we get started, keep in mind, guys, all of this action here at BlizzCon 2008 being broadcasted live over the DirecTV BlizzCon pay-per-view, over 16 hours of crystal clear, high-definition coverage of the entire event, including exclusive interviews and commentary, as well as all the main stage events. It's been great so far. You can find out more information at blizzard.com/BlizzCon/DTV. And Tasteless, don't forget, you get your polar bear mount.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
And you get to see your pretty face. So. Are we ready?
Let's make some noise, guys.
I know these two guys are ready. Is BlizzCon 2008 ready for this matchup? We've got Savior versus Jangbi. Our players are in-game. You can let them know that it is time. And please, let's get this match started with a big round of applause for these players. Two very accomplished individuals here, and it looks like we are about to get started, so I will let our experts take it away. Tasteless and Artosis.
All right, the game has just now begun. Taking a look at the mini-map over here, we are going to have our Protoss player Jangbi over here at the top left. And there's a cheer for the pro gamers right now. And of course, there's another one. Here's Savior down here at the bottom right.
You know, these are the best spots that Savior could really hope for. He wants these diagonal positions. It's going to make any sort of rush take a lot longer to get to his base. And he just, as a Zerg player, this is just right for him.
Yeah, I agree completely. I don't think he could have asked for a better spot. The farther away you are from your opponent, the less likely you are to get those assimilators rushed. I mean, it is possible to win this once you're stuck on an island map, but it's certainly not a position you want to play from.
Oh, definitely not. And, you know, to open up, it's going to be interesting. Is Savior going to go for quick lings, try to pressure or keep pressure off of him, or is he going to go for 12 edge?
Yeah, I'm really curious what's going on in Savior's mind. You know, one thing about a map like this is there's so many situations you can end up in. It's not like like Andromeda. I mean, I played that map a lot. You played that map a lot. I mean, it's not like you're going to get in all these crazy scenarios on a map like that. But on this map, man, some stuff can really get hectic.
Oh yeah, this map gets wild. It really favors an intelligent player over a macro player because of, you know, you can just seal yourself off, turn into an island map. So, you know, that kind of worked towards Savior. You know, he's more of a smart player, but, you know, it's a hard map for him.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. You know, I was watching Savior back there, you know, and over in the pro gaming section over here at the corner of the convention center, and a lot of people were just shocked. You know, Savior's actually not a high actions per minute player. He's pretty calculated in the way he moves around.
Yeah, he moves about 220 actions per minute, and, you know, he's just one of these older players that moves a little bit more slowly, but relies on his decision making.
Well, we'll see if his decision-making is going to be good enough. Now, he is going to go for the fast expansion, so he's actually, as far as I can tell, not too terribly worried about a very early rush.
Yeah, but we see Jangbi up there. It looks like he is going to go for a 2-gate rush, so it's going to take Savior a lot of good micro. It's going to come down to a very micro-oriented game right off.
Now, I think those cross spots, as we said before, that should help him out a little bit in holding off that initial rush. But, you know, if it starts to go downhill, then Savior's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah. Savior's going to want to get us sunken up immediately, make a lot of Zerglings. And it looks like he's actually going to scout pretty late against Jangbi. We see his drone's going to go to the bottom left. His Overlord's in the wrong direction, so he's going to see this as late as he can, and that makes me scared for him.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned as well. You know, one thing to keep in mind, though, is that now that Jangbi has found his opponent, he realizes, hey, he's pretty far away from me. I don't know if rushing is going to be as good.
Yeah, but, you know, I think he's still going to go for it. It is still a 12-hat, 12 pool, so that rush is still going to be pretty effective, I think. And now the Zealots just popping out, just making their way towards him right now.
Yeah, so he is going to be all about this rush right now. I'm really curious to see how this is going to end up. Now, right now, we all know that Savior's an intelligent player, but he's going to have really good control if he holds off this initial rush. Otherwise, we could see this game end right away.
And, you know, Savior has a lot of experience in this type of position. I mean, he was the Bonjour for a long time. That meaning he was the best player in the world for a long time. So a lot of people have rushed him. He has a lot of practice against it.
Okay, here comes the rush now. He's going for the creep colony. Now, remember, when that creep colony turns into a sunken colony, it loses 100 hit points. So it's going to be pretty weak. 3 probes over here. Looks like Jangbi is really about this rush. We could see a short game here.
Yeah, this is looking very bad for Savior right now. It looks like that sunken is not going to do anything. Very few hit points left. And finally, the Lynx come out. Nice drone block right there. And that sunken, it looks like he will have it warp in, but 2 hit points left. Wow.
So it is barely up. Now, I really think it's going to be important for Savior to try to block off the Protoss units from even getting close to that sunken colony. He could deal a lot of damage. He's even going to make another hatchery here. You can see to make it much less accessible over here. Now, if this does not work for Jangbi, if this rush fails, I mean, his economy is going to be hurting. These probes are not meant to be wandering around the map with these Zealots.
Yeah, they aren't, but a lot of Zealots coming down still, and all he has to do is sneak in, kill that sunken. It's going to be a bunch of Zealots and probes against just a few Lings. So, Savior, I still do not like the position he's in here.
Now, he did run by with a few Zerglings, but he's got to be careful. I have a strong feeling that Jangbi's going to push in. Here he comes now, actually, or I believe he's going to be doing it very soon.
Looks like he's trying to sneak a little probe and maybe take a little look at how many Lings are back there. And there's actually quite a few. And look at that, Jangbi actually taking expansion might be going on the side of caution here against Savior.
Now, you know, I have played so many Protoss for Zergs, I can definitely tell you that, you know, if you end up going 2-gate and your rush isn't that effective, you're basically in the dark against the Zerg, which is really going to help out as far as Savior's teching pattern goes. I mean, there's so many different ways that a Zerg can take the game, so it's going to be pretty tough, I think, for him to, you know, play blind like this.
Oh, yeah, definitely going to be hard to play blind, but right now Savior is not doing any sort of tech. He is getting gas, probably going to get speed pretty quickly there, but still no layer, no Hydroden going up. So Jangbi is pretty safe as is.
Yeah, he's looking like he's in pretty good condition. I think we're going to see pretty soon here exactly what kind of tech he's going to go for. I'm guessing Citadel coming up next, probably a Forge as well.
And it looks like Savior right now moving across the map with a bunch of Zerglings, but not nearly enough. A ton of Zealots at the expansion of Jangbi. While Jangbi is getting a core, it's just finished up right now. We're going to have to see what he chooses as his tech route here, whether he wants to go for some sort of Corsair build, maybe, what is that? All right, yeah, he's going to open up with that Corsair. And a Forge as well. So looks like he's just going to play a defensive game, get his scouting out with that Corsair.
Yeah, I think that's a smart move too, actually, because if he gets that Corsair out, then he can at least try to figure out what his opponent's doing. And you can see Savior's trying to come in here, maybe do a little bit of probe harassment, but also possibly scout the main. That's not going to be effective, though, with this Wallen over here.
And just one probe going down, but, you know, Savior trying to do what he can. Those Lings aren't too useful right now, aside from scouting. So anything he can do like that is going to help him out at this point.
He is going to be getting the second assimilator, and I think that's going to be pretty helpful. He's going to need a lot of SP and gas for Templars and all of those upgrades. You know, in a matchup like this, Protoss tend to get, you know, a ton of upgrades in that early to mid-game setting, and basically they have to play pretty defensively.
And look at that. It looks like Savior is actually going to go for a Spire. I think that we are going to see a Mutalisk build out of him. The second gas already going up at his expansion. So we're going to see a lot of Mutas out of him. Maybe one of those Muta Scourge blitzes that we've been seeing lately.
And one thing to keep in mind is that, you know, he does not have the Corsair out, and with the Spire coming over here, I think he's going to spot the Spire right when it finishes. I don't know if he's going to have the time to respond. He should just be getting cannons anyways over here. But you can see that right now Jangbi kind of playing blind right now. Isn't sure if he should be playing too defensively or if he should be playing too offensively.
Yeah, it's hard to tell right now, but those Zealots can hopefully you know, do a counterattack if the Mutas come too early. A lot of times Protoss will just send those Zealots in and try to keep the Mutas in the base, killing them while they get their defense up.
He did manage to get inside. This means he could go, well, he's going to get the Dragoon as well, and he could very easily get the cannon over here if he opts to do that.
Oh, if he slows down those cannons quite a bit, that could really help out his Mutas when they come out.
And it looks like he might be able to, no, I don't think he is going to be able to get that cannon.
Nice probe drill right there by Jangbi, and it looks like he's going to clean up those Zerglings. Very few probes lost. Jangbi, it looks like he is in a good position at this point.
All right, well, the Corsair is out now doing a little bit of harassment on this Overlord. I do believe this Overlord will be picked out. Now, he's probably going to continue to make Corsairs. Indeed, he is. And he's going to get a second Stargate, so he's going to go for a pretty heavy air war. I don't know if Savior's going to need to transition into Hydralisks or if he's going to need to tech to a Hive, maybe.
You know, if he's going 3 Hatchery Scourge, he's going to be just fine. You know, just keep scourging these Corsairs while he spends all his money on it and transition into Hydra, and he could be in a good position after that.
Yeah, I think that's a good call there. Now, one thing he's got to be careful about, though, is if the Protoss gets too many Corsairs, then all of a sudden Scourge can become useless. I mean, if you get about, you know, 8 Corsairs, you know, and you just use that hold position button to stop them rather than the attack button, it can be pretty strong.
Absolutely, and we see there's actually a lot of Mutas. I haven't seen any Scourge yet, and that is really not going to be good for him when he sees that there's 2 Stargate Corsair coming at us.
Well, you can see that Jangbi sent his Zealots out here basically to keep the Mutalisks from actually attacking his base. I don't know if this is really worth it. You can see he's not really well defended here from any type of harassment. Only 1 cannon here. So if we get some good Scourge hits off like you were talking about, I think we could definitely see some... oh, hold that thought. He's actually going to be doing a little bit of harassment down here. Now, he has to use these Corsairs very well.
Yeah, and a lot of probes actually just killed by those Mutas. Nice micro there by Savior, but in just a minute, these Mutas are going to be absolutely useless, and Savior doesn't even... He is taking a third base towards the top right. But here we go. The Zealots look like they want to go out and kill this hatchery, but I don't know how well they're going to do against this Mutalisk harass.
Well, Savior's in kind of a funny position right now. He's going to have to use these Mutalisks to deal with everything, harassing his opponent, saving this expansion, and of course dealing with those Corsairs, which are going to become pretty annoying.
And there are some Hydras out on the map now, so Savior is switching over. He is done making Mutalisks. Good for him, because there are a lot of Corsairs out right now. Looks like there's about 5 flying around the center of the map, but not enough Hydras yet to really stop the Zealots that Jangbi has.
Well, I think we're going to have to see the Protoss finish up his tech tree here. There's the Citadel. The Templar Archives will be on the way shortly. And once he has that full tech tree, I think he's going to be great. Oh!
A nice Scourge hit right there. Down to 4 Corsairs. A nice surround with the Mutas. This splash damage is not going to do as much damage to the Mutas when they're surrounding the Corsairs. And the Corsairs wisely run away. And they are very damaged. There are 2 in the red right now. So Savior getting into a good position. But 2 more Corsairs coming down. Wow, a lot of damage being done to these Mutas now.
He just bounced off of his opponent, and all of a sudden now he's going to have to retreat for a second there. I thought Savior was going to have a massive lead, but those 2 extra Corsairs really dealt a tremendous amount of damage. Now here's a few more Scourge coming up here. If he can get another good hit, it would be fantastic, and I think he might be able to do that.
Oh, another Corsair going down, and Jangbi really getting low on the Corsairs, but Savior, he's beginning to look pretty good. A decent amount of Hydras being made out of his main and natural, and he does have a Sunken up at his new expansion, so this very late Citadel out of Jangbi is going to really hurt him. You know, he's not going to be able to pressure very quickly.
I don't think we spotted a Templar Archives yet, which is certainly not good for our Protoss player. And you can see he's trying to use this Overlord to possibly bait the Corsairs out and then try to get a nice hit. Oh, and once again, it works.
Very nice Scourge there by Savior, but he is down to almost no Mutas. I think Jangbi is going to be almost done making Corsairs. We see he's making a few more, but there are not a lot of Mutas left here.
All right, look at this great Hydralisk micro here coming from Savior. The Zealots do not have the leg upgrade because that Citadel came out so bad. We could see a break here at the entrance if he gets enough Hydralisks. These Corsairs simply put useless against the Hydralisks.
Yeah, they are. And finally, the leg's finished, but there are too many Hydras here. He's going to have to pull back into those cannons. And it looks like there's only going to be one cannon, 4 speed lots. It looks like this natural is going to be broken. The probe's coming out right now. And when the probes come out, you know you're in trouble.
I think it's going to be a good game any second. I don't think there's anything that Jangbi can do to stop Savior right now.
Wow, Savior is playing so well. And GG.
GG.
Wow.
Man, interesting game.
Nicely done. As we see the first game go, you said interesting game. Please elaborate on that, Tasteless.
Okay, well, we saw, first of all, an interesting rush coming from Jangbi, which did not work, and I think that was actually one of the big things that really hurt Jangbi back in that game. He was basically playing in the dark, and then when he found out that his opponent was going Mutalisks, it looks like Savior was just able to tech perfectly, transitioning into Hydralisks. And at that point in time, it just looked like Jangbi had spent so much time focusing on Corsairs that he didn't really have the Vespian gas to have Templars out by then. The Zealot legs were late. He just really well played by Savior, I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, the transition into Hydras there was just beautiful after seeing the 2 Stargate Corsair, and he just did an excellent job with it.
All right, there you see it, Savior winning game number 1. Now, I want to call you guys out a little bit. You said it, Tasteless. You said it, Artosis. Savior is in a slump. I saw some play there that seemed very impressive. Is he just trying to get back at you? Or
yeah, maybe he's trying to get us to lose our jobs. I don't know. But he's certainly doing a pretty good job in this tournament, a shockingly good job, actually. When you look at some of these other players who were in here, we've just been seeing a lot of upsets here. I don't know how else to say it.